Thing hot. All right. What's going on, folks? How you doing? How you been? Uh, Please excuse my absence over these past couple days. I have been getting things together in the real world, I guess. Life is ever changing, and right now the entire world is on their tippy toes, and my little world is as well. So, that being said, please excuse the most recent absence, but I made a cup of coffee, try to get the day started. It's really not even supposed to be having this cream and sugar and all of that right now, but need something to get me going. But in the meantime, how have you been doing? How you doing? How you feeling? There has been so many things in media, social media, um, all these things we take a part of, and I was like, dude, all right, maybe now is not even really the time for me to be focusing on certain things. I've been working, started a new job, um, been hard, working hard lately, but it's all for good reason. I think we all get out and we bust our ass every day. Some of us doing things we hate, some of us doing things we love, but we get out, we bust our ass day to day, and it actually makes a way bigger impact than you think. Um, Makes a huge impact actually. So I think that's what I've been striving for is a little bit more stability in what I do every day, right? So then we do this. Get get set up, set studio up, turn on the mic, and we roll camera. The entertainment is kind of pointless at this time. Like I saw something the other day with what's that lady's name? Hillary Clinton and her disposition. What in the hell? Like it's plain and simple. The pictures are right there. Like there was a war started apparently over the weekend. Like there's so much going on. Excuse me. That almost makes my damn problems very minimal, but they're big to me. So to you guys and the problems you have, they're huge to you. And what I figured was I don't want to get on here and keep talking about my issues. I want to find common ground. I want to find out what's bothering you guys, right? Find out what's bothering the people that tune in because there are thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people that tune in. And what it says is, what it says is, we're all looking for something. We're all looking for something. So how do you feel that? How do you feel that space? That what are we all looking for? You know, what are we all looking for? Um, and I'd have to say for most of us it's stability. I think stability is a big thing in some way, shape, or form. You want to be stable, whether it's with your business, with your family, relationships, whatever it is. You want that solidity, right? You want to be solid in your shit. So, not you're headed to Phoenix. Nice, nice, nice. Safe travels, safe travels. Um, I've always wanted to go to Phoenix. I'm gonna take my son there. But I'm thinking of starting a few ventures that may or may not be on camera. Um, I think doing things in silence or doing things on your own is extremely important to you as an individual, right? You should find something you want to do and just do it. Um, Outside of your friend group, outside of not I want to say your partner, like outside of anyone really knowing that doesn't have to do with the project you're working on or something you're working on. Don't tell them. Don't tell them. Just wait. Wait until you have a finished product and then you pop out, right? That's always been a thing. So stability is amazing. So I use this platform to have fun with you guys, conversate, see what's going on, play music, learn about social media, like currently what's happening in social media. I learn about it as it's happening. Like I don't think I have a step up or a leg up on anything. As soon as I open my phone, it's either there or it's not, which is crazy because there's so much there. Um, it's like hypertension. Uh, ultimate sneak attack. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. That's so funny. I think my microphone tops out when I get too loud. That's so funny. But no, man, like it's the power of words. That's what I'm trying to say. When it comes to moving in silence, it's the power of words. And you have complete control over things that you're capable of or things that you believe you're capable of. And you damn right I'm putting on lotion right now. I'm talking because my hands are ashy and that's outrageous. Hell yeah. I'm getting on a plane. I'm getting on a plane to go to Miami in August. I'm gonna go to Miami. It's gonna be a fucking amazing time, but I'm not uh I'm not fond of planes, so that's not really something I'm excited about. But anyway, what's going on with y'all, man? Um, so there are a few ventures that I will be letting you guys in on, and a couple of things that are like really personal projects. I just want to see where that goes. Um, as far as the channel goes, the channel will continue to be what it is. It's going to be here. It's going to be more topic focused. I might end up having content that is definitely outside of the studio, moving around, doing something, engaging in something, um, simply because I want to make content, but it seems like I'm being taken out of the studio more now, right? I'm not going to be sitting here in the damn what was that boy's name? Professor X in the Professor X chair, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be sitting in the chair all the time, but I do want to bring y'all with me. So I figure get some what do they call it? IRL content, but it's just y'all gonna follow my damn day. Hmm. Oh my God. I didn't have enough creamer for the coffee, so I had to add more sugar, which is kind of a good idea. I don't know. Um, content current. Oh yeah, so I am going to be tuning in in about in a few minutes. I am going to be tuning into the to the Hillary Clinton deposition, and you are more than welcome to join me. Um, NF, you're talking about NF. NF is an amazing artist, and since I started this journey on YouTube and the channel, I got introduced to him and shown so much. Like, as far as being open and honest and raw as an artist, he is one of those leading. They call it like trauma dumping, right? They want to label everything, but as far as his type of music, it's really self-aware. It's extremely self-aware, but it's torn, right? Anybody that has a, ego fight all the damn time. You're fighting your ego. You're fighting the things that you feel like you want and the things that you need for the things that you have to do. Like it's a big fight within yourself. He makes music for people that can identify with those things. And those type of people might like rap. They might like fast-paced music. They might like something else that ties it into that. But he speaks directly to his audience, which is amazing as an artist. Like it's not like he's a braggadocious dude. You know what I'm saying? You have people that are like that. He's just not that type of artist. Um, and that's what got me locked into NF, honestly. It was it was that type of understanding. Um, and he has his moments where it's a little dark, but we all do. But it's good music. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Um, What what has been going on in the world lately? So, couple of things. Jesus, the Jim Carrey situation. Have you seen that? Please tell me you haven't. Tell me you haven't seen the recent Jim Carrey. There's so much to be said about it. So much to be said about it. So much to be said about it. So, I don't want to watch watch Donald Trump take reporters' questions live. That sounds entertaining, but
The
we're
conditions
gonna
are
tune into
extreme.
something else.
Long days, short nights, and you proudly do it day in and day out.
That's not gonna be it. No. So essentially, Jim Carrey has a body double, or at least that's what they were saying. I don't believe it's a. I don't know what it is. I'll say that. I have no idea what it is. Who that
Actor and
person is.
comedian Jim Carrey has raised eyebrows
This
during
lady
a
is
rare
hilarious,
red
by the way.
carpet appearance at the French Film Awards. And Kinsey fans were shocked by his very different look, some claiming this
Safe
man could even
travels.
be an imposter.
I really took on a pretty big challenge trying to do my speech in French. So, I wrote it
He
and
said that's
I
Jim Carrey.
researched it and I practiced it like crazy. But, it's, then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there receiving their awards. And I was like, I'm dead.
That was kind of creepy. That I'm dead comment was a little creepy, bro. That wasn't creepy for you. That was definitely creepy. As a fan of Jim Carrey, and I mean a fan since childhood, since In Living Color days, fan of Jim Carrey. This is very weird. Like this is the biggest thing of weird for me right now. And it's like, would he have gone through Botox in order to even achieve such a joke? Right? Because we know Jim Carrey is a damn character, but this just doesn't. It's something about this just doesn't seem right. Just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Um, and he was acting so weird.
Kinsey, I don't
I
know.
don't really care for her
I
comments though,
think it's
but she's
just him and he's
hilarious.
had too much filler and Botox, but some fans claim he even sounds a little different, and Botox and fillers don't normally change your voice, do they?
No, I mean, I loved the fact that you referenced raised
You know,
eyebrows because clearly
she looks like a damn that leprechaun, that evil leprechaun. I don't. Something about her face bothers me. I know that sounds petty as hell, but something about her face bothers me. We gotta find something. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Something about her face bothers the hell out of me.
Jim Carrey has been honored at Francis César Awards, and, well, he's apologizing now for his poor French.
Comment était mon français? Presque mediocre, no?
Jim Carrey made a rare public appearance to receive this year's honorary award at the 51st edition of Francis César Awards. He delivered his speech entirely in French and then apologized for his unpolished French speaking skills. He told the crowd, "I'm just learning it and my tongue is tired." Following his appearance, the internet really exploded. Did you see this with the
I'm
debate over
sorry.
his
I'm really watching this because, like, this is weird as shit.
appearance? You didn't? And whether it was actually Jim Carrey who received the award? Experts say Jim Carrey's change in appearance makes sense. You know, we haven't seen him in a while. He's older.
I don't like it, bro. I just don't like it. I just don't. It's something about this weird ass time that we are living in, and everything that is happening. It's just not right. It's just weird as fuck. What if Jim Carrey is dead? What if Jim Carrey is dead? I would be heartbroken that they didn't broadcast the news. I would be heartbroken. Allegedly, right? All of this is allegedly. But in watching his movements and watching him for the years that I've seen him, and this isn't watching these weird ass type videos, it's just the love that I know that I have for Jim Carrey. When I saw that, I was like, bro, it's something really weird going on right now. Like this, it's not the essence of Jim Carrey. None of that. None of that. Even as weird and awkward as they tried to make it seem, it's not. No. The clone conspiracy of all people. And I mean, yeah, they're saying it's in the eyes, it's all these things, but bro, and there's so much. There's so much. But didn't we just go to war on like Friday, like Saturday morning? Didn't we just go to war? Isn't that now a thing? Aren't we in the middle of a war now? I saw more banners were flown over the I think it was the Department of Education. People were upset that they put Charlie Kirk up there as far as banners go. But I think if they would have just put his alone, it would have been an issue. So they put his with other people's, which it's still an issue, but they feel like there's other people up there. So if you can make an argument about one, you can make an argument about all, right? And who wants to argue about all of that? So maybe that's a thing and they just let it ride. I just don't understand the banners. Why are we flying banners on government property now again, other than the American flag, right? I mean, we fly those. Those are colors, those are banners, flags, whatever you want to call it. We fly those. Why are we posting people's face on the side of shit? Mm, that's hella weird to me. Um, and something else happened. What the else happened, bro? See, this is why I need a ticker that's just running the news constantly. I'm gonna have like a freaking, what is it? Like the old CNN station. If you've ever been to Atlanta, they just redid it, so now it's all freaking uppity and whatnot. But if you was in Atlanta in the past like 10 years, no, it's been gone for a while. Early 2000s. Back in the early 2000s, the CNN Center was the spot to go, especially if you was a tourist, you're getting out of Centennial Park. Um, Go to the CNN Center. It's all kinds of food. It's great. But they had a giant freaking ticker in there. I think I'm gonna get something like that. Constantly running the news, social media for us to talk about things of that nature. Mainly because I'm a spectator just like you are. I've come to that realization. I am very much a spectator. I'm a spectator just like the rest of us. But the difference is certain things I do feel like we need to talk about. I'm not gonna sit there and doom scroll and be like, oh, that's interesting. No, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? We have to talk about it. We got to check into it. Even if it's real quick little research, ask a couple questions, get a couple questions answered. I mean, what else do you do on your lunch break besides eat? Speaking of, oh my God, have you ever gone to a spot where the food was so good? I'm talking about the food was so good you had to double back the next day, but they were closed the next day. Yeah, that happened to me yesterday, bro. Chinese spot. I get the spare rib tips, boneless, cut up with the French fries. Amazing. The most amazing food ever. I go back the next day. I go back on Monday. They're closed. Heartbroken. It's completely goddamn devastated. I'll say that much. But today's a new day. Today's probably going to be open. So I'm probably going to check that out. Um, have you ever had a spot like that? It's so good, you're going to go back the next day. What does it take? What does it take, right? I'm a chef, but I'm also a consumer of good food. What does it take for you to go back to a restaurant? Um, Pertaining to just the food, though, not the atmosphere, not the location, none of that, none of that. The food itself. What has to be the popping point for the food for you to go back? That's why, like, Magic Burger in South Houston, great but closed on Sundays. I've never had a Magic Burger. Our version of a Magic Burger is we used to take I used to work at this place. We used to take three different types of mushrooms, saute them, and then marinate them overnight, and we would call it a magic mushroom burger. You would get that, and it would come with, I think, Swiss cheese. But it was good though, real good, real good. Magic mushroom consistency and environment. Okay, I mean, so now let's like minus the environment, right? Like it's just minimal environment. It's not necessarily a sit down. It's like a grab and go situation. How good does the food have to be? Because here in Atlanta, there's so many it's different types of culture, different types of places to get food, right? And it's a constant competition when it comes to food. But if you know of a certain thing that you like, burritos, tacos, something like that, how does it make what makes the difference for you? Is it the amount of food? You want a big ass burrito? Like I can't do them giant football sized burritos. That's outrageous to me. I can't eat all of that, not in one sitting. I'm thinking two small burritos, something like two small burritos, and no one sells those. Here in Atlanta, I'm pretty sure you could probably find a place, but it had to be a specialty place. Boom. We're watching
January
this.
13th. I had no idea about their criminal activities. Let me
Started from
be
the
as
top.
clear as I can. I do
Okay.
not. As I stated in my sworn declaration on January 13th, I had no idea about their criminal activities. I do not recall ever encountering Mr. Epstein. I never flew on his plane or visited his island, homes, or
Same.
offices. I have nothing to that. Like every decent person, I've been horrified
Oh no.
by what we have learned about their crimes. It's unfathomable that Mr. Epstein initially got a slap on the wrist in 2008, which allowed him to continue his predatory practices for another decade. Mr. Chairman, your investigation is supposed to be assessing the federal government's handling of the investigations and prosecutions of Epstein and his crimes. You subpoenaed 8 law enforcement officials, all of whom ran the Department of Justice or directed the FBI when Epstein's crimes were investigated and prosecuted.
I mean, it doesn't it's semantics when it comes to court. No matter what we think we see, right? No matter how entertaining it is, when you're speaking in court, it is semantics. It's all about how you say what you say. She's really like Hillary Clinton is the absolute worst. She's the absolute worst, bro. She's the absolute worst. She's the absolute worst. And I remember Bill Clinton as president. I remember being a kid during that time, and I didn't like her then. Like just something about her, and she stays in the news. I haven't heard anything good about Hillary Clinton. It's never anything good.
Of those 8, only 1
Never
appeared
anything
before
good.
the committee. 5 of the 6 former attorneys general were allowed to submit brief statements stating they had no information to provide. You have held 0 public hearings, refused to allow the media to attend them, including today, despite espousing the need for transparency on dozens of occasions. You have made little effort to call the people who show up most prominently in the Epstein files. And when you did, not a single Republican member showed up for Les Wexner's deposition. This institutional failure is designed to protect one political party and one public official, rather than to seek truth and justice for the victims and survivors, as well as inform the public who want to get to the bottom of this matter. Instead, you have compelled me to testify, fully aware that I have no knowledge that would assist your investigation, in order to distract from President Trump's actions and to cover them up despite legitimate calls for answers.
She has a point. She has an extremely valid point. But isn't this all just a fucking distraction? But it's one distraction from another, right? That's it. Because at the end of the day, all of these things need to be talked about and they need to be handled appropriately. Everything, everything, right? It's not, the term distraction it's a little much at times, right? All of these things are important, but they're all happening all at the same goddamn time. And if you have kids, you know what that's like, especially if you have more than one. Everything is going on all at once right now. It's several fires to put out right now. They're all important right now. It's just how are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? One after another, or 2 at a time. Whatever you can do, but you're going to do it. They're not distractions. Epstein was wrong. Everything he did was wrong. But it was so massive, it affects the entire country. So now, because everyone had a hand to play, it's it's oh, this is so awful. This is so awful. Everyone had a hand to play in this. Both sides, all parties, people who's not in parties, people who like the party too much. It was everything was in play in this situation. Somebody has to get in trouble. Somebody has to someone's head has to go on the chopping block. Figuratively speaking. Someone's head has to go on the chopping block. So, I mean, it's her turn. They've had Republicans get scrolled. I mean, scolded. I said scrolled. The hell, scolded. They've had Republicans get scolded. People have taken the stand. It's been what it is. It's her turn.
If this committee is serious about learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement.
Press what?
About learning the truth about Epstein's trafficking crimes, it would not rely on press gaggles to get answers from our current president on his involvement. It would ask him directly under oath about the tens of thousands of times he shows up in the Epstein files. If the majority was serious, it would not waste time on fishing expeditions. There is too much to be done. What is being held back? Who is being protected? And why the cover-up? So my challenge
Listen. All right,
to you, Mr.
all
Chairman, and members of this committee is the same challenge I put to myself throughout my long service to this nation. How to be worthy of the trust of the American people that they have given to you. They expect statesmanship, not gamesmanship, leading, not grandstanding. And they expect you to use your power to get to the truth and to do more to help survivors of Epstein's crimes,
right in that
as well as
aspect.
the
She's right
millions
there.
more who are victims of sex trafficking in this country and around the world.
Are you aware that both Republicans and Democrats voted to subpoena you and your husband?
I am here.
Okay. Are you aware both Republicans and Democrats voted to hold you in contempt when you didn't show up?
I am here.
Is that partisan when both?
I'm here so I don't get fined. What do you mean? Yo, she hit him with the I'm here so I don't get fined. Duh. What do you mean? I'm here. What are you talking about?
Parties vote to do something together? Is that partisan or nonpartisan?
I think it's standing up for the institution, but there are many other aspects of the committee's work that strikes me as avoiding the main issues about who should be sitting here, who has actual information that might be useful to your investigation.
As if it was not in your purview when you were Secretary of State, then why is it today in Secretary Rubio's purview?
Because what's happened is that the office that was actually following what was going on around the world has been decimated. 70% of the staff is gone. It's impossible to carry out the functions of that office if you don't have a critical number of people. So my question would be to Secretary Rubio, is there more that can be done?
I'm running out of time here. You were clothed with immense power as Secretary of State. You've stated on the record in your opening statement that child sex trafficking in general.
You look good in that blue though. I mean, like it's a nice color. I give her that. Like, regardless of what party it's associated with, it's a very nice color. It's one of my favorites. She looks good in that. At least she came there prepared. I mean,
Human trafficking of all
dressed like a
kinds is a
damn
priority.
Democrat.
You were clothed with immense power. Your husband was clothed with immense power. And until you got this subpoena and until these files were out in the open, you did nothing to try to effectuate all of these things. You say that should have been done. Is that correct?
No, it's totally incorrect. I mean, all of your assumptions are ones that I reject.
When you saw photos of your husband in a hot tub laying
Whatever
on a
you
beach
say,
getting massaged by other
I don't
women,
give a damn
and
what
you knew
you
that
say.
Jeffrey
I
Epstein
reject
was
all of it.
involved in some of these trips and these things, did it concern you at all?
I'm here not to offer my opinions. I'm here to answer specific questions to the best of my ability.
When you saw your husband in these photos with a young woman being massaged, what went through your mind?
I am not going to speculate.
You didn't have any feelings about young women massaging your husband?
I don't think feelings matter in court, but they do though. You think they don't, but feelings matter in court.
I am not going to offer opinions or speculation about anything that I have no context for and was not there.
After you learned that Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of sex crimes with kids, did any of these photos of your husband with women being massaged on the beach, did it concern you?
I have no context for even answering that question. And I think, obviously the innuendo, all the rest of it.
I'm asking a black and white question. I'm not putting any leading statements into it or adjectives. Did you do anything to determine what was happening in those images or on those trips that once you saw these photos, once you realized Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender of children, did you do anything to determine what was happening on these trips with your husband?
I don't find any of your questions.
Okay, I gotta give it to whoever. I don't know who it is that's asking the question. I gotta give it to her. It's almost like it's a yes or no, but the question I'm asking you is so specific. You know, if you say yes, what it's saying. It's a yes or no question, though. Did you see? Did you see it?
To be relevant to the investigation.
What is relevant if a former president was traveling around with young women?
Well, you'll have a
alone
chance.
with them?
You'll have a chance to talk to him tomorrow.
Excuse me, can I interrupt?
I have
There
another.
are photos that are being released of the
Right now?
secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules, particularly given that we have asked for a public
What?
hearing. If there are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying, can you please explain how that
I'm
can
done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
What?
Oh, for heaven's
So
sake.
I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was,
It doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will
Oh,
take
it's
that down.
going down.
Yeah, well,
I would like to take a break at this
Yeah,
moment. And I'd like to.
What? Her picture? So it sounded like it, what she said was, excuse me, there is pictures coming out while we're doing this. What? This is supposed to be a secretive. This is, you know, while we're doing this, look at her. She got pissed. I'm at the
Permissible.
Before the hearing was,
it doesn't
Excuse
matter.
me.
We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So I
well,
would like to take a break at this moment.
yeah,
And I'd like to have
I'm done.
fired. She's fired. Whoever did that is fired. She is gone.
For now.
She's
Go off the
gone.
record. Go off the record.
Off the record.
More transparent than a public hearing, cameras on. Secretary Clinton, why is it important for you to testify before this committee in a public setting?
I want to know what.
Well,
was
first
said
of
off
all,
the
I
record.
believe in public testimony. I believe that the public has a right to know what its elected members of Congress are investigating and legislating. Having served for 8 years, I think it is useful
Serve
as a
what?
member to do a hearing in public because you're going to learn things by the coverage of it, by the response that you get from people. You know, this hearing, if it were in public, maybe somebody, your question about intelligence, maybe somebody watching it would have said, oh my gosh, I just remembered having a conversation with Foreign Minister X or Prime Minister Y, and that person mentioned Jeffrey Epstein. Most people are not going to look at the video, they're not going to read the transcript, but they will follow a live public hearing. So I think it actually enhances the work that those of us who've been privileged to serve are doing and can do. So to me, it is just an absolute prerequisite for doing the kind of legislative and investigative work as effectively as possible by doing it in public.
And did you know that you would be photographed today?
No.
And is that at all part of what you had understood about the terms of the agreement for today's deposition?
Well, I will confess that I had some concerns about whether the majority on the committee would treat me fairly and would, you know, fairly convey what I say and what I did and how I looked and how I responded. So yes, I did have a concern, and when we learned about the photos being taken not by a staff member but by a member, it was shocking and very disappointing. So if it were in public, we wouldn't have that debate. You know, everybody could see the same thing that the congresswoman saw. I'm sitting here, sometimes I'm smiling, sometimes I'm frowning, sometimes I look good, sometimes I don't. That's all in public. Everybody can have the same view rather than, you know, an angled photo and all the rest of it. So it was disappointing, and I
Hillary, babe, come on, babe, listen, come on. What are you saying? What are you saying? It's a picture. We all know what happens. You know what happens. You've been in the game, huh? This isn't new. These things happen. Yo, and she's explaining her ass off. This is the funniest shit. I know this might not be funny for y'all, right? But the news cracks me up because it's all a show. It's all a damn show.
I regret that it
It's all a
happened
show.
and
And
it
she's putting on a
violated
good
your
show.
rules, but that's not the real concern I have. The real
Hillary's
concern
putting on a
is
good show.
get busy. Focus on the people that have something to tell you, that can tell you about intelligence, money, and crimes.
I can't tell you nothing. These people can tell you about intelligence, money, and crimes. Her words, verbatim. Her words. These people can tell you. I can't tell you shit. What are you asking me for?
And get them before you, and whenever possible, do it
Why are
in
you
public.
asking me?
having
And
observed
do it in front of people. Don't
President
do it
Trump
behind closed doors.
up
Okay.
close and personal for a number of years now since I ran against him, he has a tell. He has a behavioral tell. Whenever he is worried about being found out himself, he accuses somebody else of doing what he actually has done. And it's just a pattern with him. So it's no surprise to me that all of a sudden, what he promised in his campaign to reveal, everything about the files, and then when
That was everybody's running thing. We're going to release the files. If I promise you, if I become president, we're going to release the files. They've been talking about these files for years. Now the files are here, and well, don't talk to me about it. Talk to somebody else about it. I'm glad we got them because she was asking for them too now. Y'all remember that. For the people who love Hillary and all of that, Team Hillary, yeah, I get it. But she was asking for the files too. Everybody was. He was, she was, everybody wanted the files. We're gonna get the files. Files are coming out soon. It's like the goddamn Marvel movie.
his people
Files are
began
coming
looking in the
soon.
files and realized how potentially incriminating they were of him, all of a sudden, that was no longer the
Crazy.
focus. It was blaming Democrats, talking about a hoax, saying move on, there's nothing to see here. That is a typical pattern of President Trump's behavior, which speaks louder than all the words that he speaks.
I'm sure she hates saying President Trump. I'm almost sure those words burn coming off of her tongue, but she has to address him formally. She has to.
And all of the Truth Social posts that he makes. He clearly knows what he did. He knows what others did, because remember, one of the emails that has come out recently is he called the police chief of Palm Beach at the time Epstein was arrested, according to reporting, to say, I'm so glad you got him. I'm so glad you're stopping him. Well, how would he know that?
And finally, do you think that Donald Trump should
Didn't
be
know that
deposed
came
by this
out.
committee?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that came out. I have
I
to
was a
look that up.
lawyer,
Were
and
you?
as a lawyer, you would look for pattern and practice. If you were deposing a witness in a case that you were trying, if you were in court, what did you know about this person? What you knew could influence how you questioned that person, how you tried the case. Donald Trump has been held civilly liable for sexual assault by a jury of his peers. 9 members of a jury found him liable in the sexual assault of E. Jean Carroll. That is behavior. That fits a pattern if one were looking for a pattern. He has also been convicted on 34.
I think she's definitely making sure she's saying this stuff during this time, so at least it's going on record that it's being said and that people are being made aware. I mean, it's happening, it's been happening, but she's given facts, right? This is what, this is what you're asking me, what do I know? But this is what we already do know. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Felony counts for attempting to hide his relationship with a escort and then to commit business fraud to prevent it from becoming public in the 2016 campaign, which was ultimately election interference. So if I were running the committee or I were involved in this investigation, I would be looking for people who maybe had some prior conduct that might be relevant to either money or crimes. And yes, I think that it would be in keeping with the scope of the investigation of this committee to set up a deposition with President Trump. I know he's been deposed many, many, many times. He's taken the Fifth Amendment many, many hundreds of times, so I'm not saying you're going to get a lot of information. But given what's in the files and given past and prior conduct, he would be on my witness list.
By this standard of behavior, multiple.
Is she wrong? Is she wrong? Right? People, I can tell you, people, they judge you literally off of your previous history. You are judged off of your previous history. If you think you're not, think again. They judge you off your previous history. Family does, your job does, anyone that has anything to do with hiring anything, they judge you off of the things you've done. That's how it goes. We look at what you've done to see what you might do. That's anything, that's everything. So, in that regard, right, is she not right? Look at what's been done and look at where we're at now. Is that not, I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, because if you're asking yes or no questions, that's a yes or no question. Does it fit the description?
Credible accusers, including Juanita Broderick, who alleged rape against your husband. Your husband was disbarred in Arkansas, lost his law license before the Supreme Court, flew on Epstein's plane dozens of times, visited Epstein's island.
That is not true. That is absolutely untrue.
Well, there's documentation in the DOJ files. I'm not sure you're aware, your attorneys have told you, but Jeffrey Epstein told one of the victims to lie to investigators, to lie that Bill Clinton was ever on Epstein Island. I can provide that document to you.
We would like that document, please.
Yeah, counsel, because actually the files say just the opposite. Epstein himself denied he was.
These are FBI notes from an interview with a victim, and I can get you the victim number and the case number and the files. These are notes from the 302.
This is why I'm watching it, because a lot of people are taking pictures and they're just putting pictures up, and her face says everything, son. A one still picture, this could be a meme right here. People do that. I'm watching this whole thing live because, one, this is the first time I've seen it and the first time I'm hearing all of this. I've just seen pictures of it. So it's best to watch it.
Are you going to provide those now?
That's not my line of questioning. She brought it up, but I have a document.
I'm sorry, you're making a representation as to the fact.
I didn't enter anything as an exhibit.
But it's factually inaccurate.
No, I can give it to you later. I can go find the document, make copies of it, and give it to you this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Okay. By your standard of pattern of behavior, according to documents released by the Department of Justice, your husband appears in photos in swimming pools, hot tubs, aboard Jeffrey Epstein's private plane with unidentified young women. We came here today and told this committee that a pattern of behavior demands accountability, correct?
I said that I believe the committee should call anyone who had a substantial pattern and practice of contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
Right there. She's telling you, you can go after Bill too. Go after Bill. She's telling them right there. I said anyone that had that type of contact. So if I'm telling you anyone and you know of certain people, does that not mean anyone? I mean, come on. Look, it's semantics, man. People picking and choosing what they hearing and what they listening to. She said anyone. So if Bill has something to do with it, get Bill too. Get his ass on the stand. Hillary don't give a damn. She been dealing with Bill and his bullshit since forever. You think she do it? Do what you got to do. Get him and everyone else. Get all of them. But that's what she's saying. Get all of them.
And his crimes before they came to light and after they came to light. You're going to have a chance to question him tomorrow.
So I'll ask you again, by the standard you just set in your own words just now, does this standard apply equally to your husband or only President Trump?
I have said that my husband has been subpoenaed. He will appear. He will answer your questions to the best of his ability. But there is no evidence whatsoever of any connection with Jeffrey Epstein's crimes, and I think that will be obviously apparent in the questioning.
What makes you so sure of that then? I mean, he's photographed
objection
with,
is to speculate on something that's not
it is so speculative. I mean, swimming in a pool, sitting in a hot tub, there are millions of people who do that without any improper behavior or certainly committing any crimes. So I
Do you think most of the
uh,
men are like your husband that did anything wrong? Why were they being surrounded by young women, giving them massages on Jeffrey's private estate or private plane? Are they all innocent then?
you
Just
know, you are
because-
making assumptions in your questions that have not been proven and I don't believe are provable. Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me sick.
Her reading it. They got her reading the emails. Yo, I think everyone that has something to do with this, especially if their name is in an email, read the email. That's what Chris Hansen was doing too. Read. Can you read this for me? Can you read this out loud for me? You gotta hear how you fucking sound sometimes. Read this shit out loud.
I don't believe are provable. Thank you for a
What'd you say?
fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me sick.
If you can
Lisa.
also read the EFTA 008788421. This is also another email. Can you just please provide the context? It's an email to Jeffrey Epstein. If you could just read the context of what it is.
Can you read that, please? Can you just?
Of course, the OH Jesus, Ohio
Jesus.
Jesus, I'm coming trick
And just the main body of the context of the email.
said that she felt God's presence next to her when she was in bed. She knows that Jesus watches over her and he helped save her life. Whoops.
How does that make you feel?
It's bizarre.
Whoops.
I don't know what it means.
The reason I asked you to read both of these is because these emails were both sent by co-conspirators that were then given the plea deals and now have been given victim status. Both of these I document, and they're on a number of other emails. Do you believe that the Department of Justice should reevaluate the plea deals for some of these women, given that, as you can see, they have clearly done some things probably that they shouldn't have?
I don't know the status of whether that would be legally possible, so I have no opinion.
I think outside of the statute of limitations, they might be able to reinvestigate under the civil rights violations. Would you be in favor of that, or looking into any of the co-conspirators that were given plea deals down to victim status if there's credible evidence that they were trafficking young girls?
I think it should be pursued.
All right, Secretary Clinton, how do you feel?
It's hard to anyone that has anything to do with this go after them. That's what she's saying. And I think everyone should be saying that, right? Everyone should be saying the same thing. If you had anything to do with this, anything to do with these type of absolutely atrocious crimes, you should burn in hell. That's my personal opinion. But court-wise, you should be prosecuted. You should be brought to some sort of justice. Some sort. The most extreme kind, but some sort of justice that legally we can do. That's what needs to be done. Why is that not the fucking rule for these type of things? I really don't know. Why is that not the rule for these type of things? There is zero double standard. There is one line and you don't cross it. That's it. One line, you don't cross it. If you do cross it, these are the consequences for crossing that line. Period. There's no gray area. Stop giving people a gray area. There's no gray area for this. You should be looked at and treated the way we know that they treat other people for other reasons. Way less than this. They let you live your life for a little while longer, especially after they find out, oh, no, you good. We'll stretch it out as long as we can.
Feel about your husband being named in the Epstein files?
Well, I think it's something that is unfortunate, and I'm sure that he will tell you that he wished he had not flown on Epstein's plane. So that's it's unfortunate in my opinion.
Is how do we determine whether or not Epstein was a spy, whether or not Epstein was trading secrets, because he had people on the inside, especially in the Obama administration. We're not saying you, but Obama's former counsel that then went to Goldman Sachs. Where do we go in this investigation to try to determine whether or not he was an asset?
You know, Mr. Chairman, I really appreciate that question. And I can't say that about many of the questions, but I really do appreciate that question. And I think it's an absolutely essential question for you to try to examine and find answers for. And I think you said that you had either document requests or maybe even a subpoena to the CIA. I would also include the DNI. I would include, any counterintelligence or appropriate unit within the Justice Department. I think you have to cast a wide net. And now that,
this is like something
as
out
you
of a movie,
described,
y'all.
the government in the UK is investigating both Andrew Mountbatten and Peter Mendelsohn, maybe they would cooperate with you in their investigation. And maybe, you could reach out to the intelligence agencies of other countries that you're looking at. Israel has been mentioned. Perhaps that is one to be. I don't think Iran is going to cooperate, but I think, or Russia, but I think you could, certainly go to the UK and go to Israel and see if they would be at all helpful to you.
In your experience as Secretary of State, and I know you were First Lady, but you were more active, in my opinion, than most First Ladies in the President Clinton's administration. Does he exhibit characteristics? Is there a pattern that would lead you and your expertise to believe that he was an asset?
Well, there certainly is in the files, and I do commend you for getting as much released as you can. I hope you can get it all released.
What? Okay. With what has been released, there's enough to put people away. Can we say that? Is that okay to say? With the things that we already know pertaining to the crime, right? Pertaining to the crimes at hand, we already know certain people had certain things to do with certain situations which pertain to crimes. Should those people not be arrested of some sort? How is that not the thought process? That happens with every crime. And I guess this is why they're saying if you prosecute for the one thing, the whole thing's gonna crumble. Because that's what you're supposed to do with crimes. You have evidence. What's the point of evidence if you don't use the evidence? Then it becomes hearsay or word of mouth, and that doesn't work in court. Evidence to show what has been done or what you're saying has been done. Finished it up.
Hints of relationships with powerful foreign leaders, pictures, emails, meetings. He was clearly somebody who traded off of information.
Exactly.
He liked to collect it and then he liked to use it. I don't know any more details than that. So he is certainly, I said earlier, the intelligence connections, the money connections, the crimes, those seem to me to be the three major elements of your investigation.
All right. Okay. That is the best thing I've seen today. It's so funny. It's so funny to watch. I appreciate y'all for staying tuned with me. Um, so while this is going on, right? While that whole situation is going on, apparently we have started a war. Um, we have started a war. Uh, and I'm not gonna say we started, right? I'm not gonna say we started a war. I'm not gonna say that. I'm going to say uh, oh, we have entered into a disagreement time with other people. Um, so whatever that means, whatever that means, bro, certain things need to be set up for everyone. And it's detrimental if you don't. That's it. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. It's a lot going on. Um, but as far as being knowledgeable, I'm only going to say it once or twice, and then I'm not going to say it anymore. I can't. I can't. In the meantime, watch the news, stay updated on everything that's going on, and yeah, man, continue to keep trying to have better days. Because right now, you got like this happening, and I don't. There's not distractions from one thing from another. It's how are we going to handle all of it? That's the best thing you can do is just try to figure out how you're going to handle all of it because your life still has to go on. So, in that regard, you guys have a great damn day, and we will continue this. But until next time.